Yo, what up? This is your boy Solo. Now we're back again with another one. And this is going to be about how to spot the sentiment behind a Psyop and how the government try to manipulate people into a direction where, you know, people are not aware and lost and distracted with their, you know, just the common lifestyle of indoctrination and just being sheep. So, to spot the sentiment behind a Psyop is how they're always trying to warn you in the news or whatever about a circumstance like an outbreak of war, um, virus, um, like crime rate going up, like some crime activity, fear mongering shit, like it's in their best interest to warn you about. But yet they don't help you in areas where they can help you with the economy, you know, mental health, physical health, providing assistance where, you should do this and not do that. Like stop eating garbage food, stop consuming alcohol, poisons. Like it's just obvious the things that needs to be done to help a population. But at the same time, all these things that's accumulated over time, all these thoughts and feelings of toxicity, and that develops an ego, and just stupidity amongst a population where people don't want to listen, and they just have an ego where they're just not, they only care about their comfort zone and themselves. So this is what the government created, just a ignorant population. And most people are ignorant. Most people don't want to listen. They think learning stops once they get out of high school or college, which is retarded. Like, who, if you convince yourself learning stops ever, like you think you know it all, then you have too much. You have way much more to learn, and what you think you know now is just limited, and that's how comfortable you got with your life, because there's way more knowledge out there to gain from. Spiritual knowledge, aka knowledge of the self, how to understand your chakras, how to understand the waters above, how it connects to the waters below, and how we're all synchronizing together in this fluid reality. I'm not gonna get into that right now. Go watch my videos. I have a lot of videos on spirituality and how we're all connected. But this is about the Psyop situation, and and making it obvious how the government is trying to warn you about things in general, but they don't help you with your economy. They don't help you with the necessity. They don't help you with the obvious things that's needed. So if people are too distracted and comfortable with themselves, they're not gonna care enough, or they just given up, and they're just gonna live their life, which is not, that's not a good thing. That's not good morally, or and you need to have some principles, because if too many people are like that, then that's just the downfall of humanity, and without knowledge humans shall perish. So people need to hold the government's feet to the fire, because it's power in the people. If people become more aware, they cannot attack you in angles and perspectives where they think they can. So when people become more aware, they're gonna have to try to attack you in a different angle, and it'll become more difficult for them to proceed with their agenda type shit. So I'm giving you a solution right now on how to become aware of psyops. Like, it's just common sense at this point. They try to warn you and help you, try to help you, like if it's in their best interest for you, but they don't help you with the economy, like I said, or just helping with living conditions where crime rate is not rampant. And to be honest, they spend all this money on war, like over $500 trillion on war or something like that. you know, retarded inconveniences when it comes to franchises like fast food restaurants and shit like that. I gotta repeat shit. So all of these things are causing mental health issues, and is like turning a blind eye to these things is why people are um dumb. They're just dumb. They think they're smart, but they're dumb. And they might think they're smart on their own accord, but it's embarrassing. So they're in some type of ego or narcissism, which is, you still got learning to do. You still got to get out of your ego, and that's part of learning. That's part of learning about yourself, expanding your awareness, and having emotional intelligence to learn about other people's culture and perspective and way of life, and just understanding yourself and others and your environment. If you're too much into yourself and you only care about money and materialistic things and what you can gain out of this reality before you go, I got news for you. You're gonna go to hell, period. And however you're lost in your mind is where you're gonna go. So yeah, we're here to be relatable, not to be isolated. We're here, right? We're here as humans building the world. What makes you think being isolated in your mind is something normal by nature? You see everything in nature working together. You see other animals working together to build something. You see the ants building a colony, working together. You see beavers building their own digging holes, beaver dams, whatever. You see them chopping wood and shit like that with their teeth. You see, tigers and lions helping each other in packs. Not tigers, but lions. Hyenas working together. Birds flying together. You know what the point is, but it's like humans are the only ones that are extremely divided and don't even like that. You don't understand how synthetic that is when it comes to nature itself. Like you're not aligned or in tune with the divine if you're that synthetic and separated, and you're not being relatable to build each other up or to become more relatable. It's just that simple. Relatable by nature with the divine, with God, and how we're supposed to do things. I don't know how simple I gotta make it. It's just that's what we're supposed to do. Now, if you're trying to detach from that mentally and spiritually, and how you're doing things in the mind, you don't understand what type of hell that is that you're going to. You're like detaching from nature, and you're gonna go somewhere else after you die. We're gonna come back here, but whatever your mind is on is what you're gonna continue to do until you get back on, that spiritual path and that relatability energy where we are supposed to come together and build. So you can stray away all you want, but the universe will teach you a lesson until you come back. And it could be harsh. It can be a painful, harsh incarnation cycle. I'm not gonna get into that because there's a lot of clueless people that don't understand spirituality and how life works. Because people have limited perspectives, and they just don't believe in themselves enough to attain that knowledge. But you have to give yourself grace and have faith and understand is much deeper than what you think. But yeah, just know the government is not in your best interest, and the people and the powers in the people, and we're supposed to keep them on track. Not let them do things for us. We're supposed to tell them what to do and how things work. So we need big spirits here. We don't need weak ass spirits. We're just distracted in their own bubble and doing shit on their own. Like I said, it's all about being relatable and helping each other out. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Peace.